All right, if you would grab out your Uptown Function Unit Assessment Review, and we're going to work through each individual problem we have here. Okay, so I'm looking at number one, and it's asking for what value of x will make each equation true. And then we need to show all of our steps. So I've got 12x is equal to 156. I see that I am multiplying 12 times x, so I'm going to do the opposite of what I see, and I'm going to divide by 12 on both sides. So I'm going to take my handy dandy calculator. I'm going to take 156 divided by 12, and I'm going to get x is equal to 13. All right, the next question, I have 4x is equal to x plus 18. Well, I need to get all of my x's on one side, and so I see that I'm adding one x, so I'm going to take it away, and I'm going to do 4x minus x, and I'm going to get 3x is equal to 18. I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides, and I'm going to get x is equal to 6. Let's go ahead and box those in. All right, for the next one, I have 6x plus 16 is equal to 2x plus 28. I personally move the x's first, then the numbers, and I move the smallest x from one side over to the other. So I'm going to take away 2x from both sides. 6x minus 2x is going to give me, let's get it to work here. There we go. It's going to give me 4x plus 16 is equal to 28. Now I need to subtract 16 because I got all my x's on one side. Now I'm going to get all of my numbers onto the other side. So I'm going to do 28 minus 16, and I should receive 12. The last step is to divide by 4 on both sides, and I'm going to get x is equal to 3. Now I have 6x minus 15 is equal to negative 9x. Well, I have to move my 6x from the left to the right. I do not have a choice here. I'm left with a negative 15 is equal to, well, negative 9 minus 6. I'm not taking it away. I'm actually adding the 6 to what is going on. And so I do negative 9 minus 6 in my calculator, or just add the two numbers up, and you get negative 15x. I'm going to divide by negative 15 on both sides. Well, I see a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 15 divided by 15 is 1. So I get x is equal to 1. All right, the next one, 5x minus 5 is equal to 9x plus 3. I am going to subtract 5x on both sides. I'm left with a negative 5 is equal to, well, 9 minus 5 is 4 plus 3. Subtract 3 on both sides. I'm left with 4x is equal to, well, negative 5 minus 3, it's the same concept that we were just having with our x's, is negative 8. Divide by 4 on both sides, and I get x is equal to negative 2. All right, 7x minus 4 is equal to 3x minus 20. I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. So I have 7 minus 3, and I should receive 4x. Minus 4 is equal to negative 20. Add 4 to both sides. 4x is equal to, well, if I've got negative 20 and I'm adding 4 positives, I now have negative 16. Divide both sides by 4, and my pen is dying. Negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. So I should get x is equal to negative 4. All right, number 2, write an equation that would represent this model. So, solve your equation to find the value of x that will make this equation true and show all steps. All right, so the first step we need to do is to write our equation. Well, the left side, I have 3 x's, and they are all positive. And I have 2 1s, and they are negative, so I have minus 2 is equal to, I have 2 x's on the right, and they are negative, so I've got negative 2x. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I have negative 7 1s. All right, same concept as above. So I'm going to move the negative 2x. Is we're going to add 2x from one side to the next. 3x plus 2x is 5x minus 2 is equal to negative 7. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. I'm going to have 5x is equal to, well, negative 7 plus 2 is really 7 minus 2 and is 5, but it's negative because there's more negatives. Divide by 5 on both sides. And I've got x is equal to negative 1 because a negative 5 divided by a positive 5 is 1. All right. Number 3, car A and car B are traveling at a constant rate. The graph shows the distance each car is from McDonald Middle School. Choose the correct answer from each drop-down menu to complete the statement. After blank hours, car A and car B will be blank miles from McDonald Middle School. So this sounds like it is asking for the point of intersection because it is putting car A and car B together in the same sentence. So I need to see the point of intersection, which I need to figure out at what point do both car A and car B cross my point of intersection or cross my line. Well, it looks like after 2 hours, car A and car B will be 20 miles from McDonald Middle School. All right, number 4. 2 customers spent the same amount or same total amount of money at a restaurant. X is the cost of each hot wing. The first customer bought 8 hot wings and left a $4 tip. So they bought 8 hot wings for the same amount. So because it says X is the cost of each hot wing. So they bought 8 hot wings and they left a $4 tip. The second customer bought 10 hot wings, so 10X, and they left a $2.80 tip. Oops, there we go. Both customers paid the same amount per hot wing. Write an equation that can be used to model the first customer's expression. Well, the first customer bought 8 hot wings, and each hot wing cost the same amount, and they spent $4 in tip. The second customer bought 10 hot wings for the same price, and then they left a $2.80 tip. And it's asking for an equation, so you can say y is equal to. Then it says, write and solve an equation that can be used to find X, the cost of one hot wing at this restaurant in dollars and in cents. So I'm going to take my 2 equations and I'm going to set them equal to one another because this is going to tell me how much it's going to cost me per hot wing. So I'm going to take away 8X from both sides. I'm left with 4 is equal to 2X plus $2.80. I'm going to subtract $2.80 from both sides. I'm left with 2X on the left. I'm going to do 4 minus 280. And I should get $1.20. And then I'm going to divide $1.20 by 2. And I'm going to get X is equal to, divided by 2, is going to equal to 0.6. So each hot wing is going to cost me 60 cents.
Here's what I found.
Sorry. All right, William and Matt are both enrolled in a weight loss program. William weighs 250 pounds and plans to lose 2 pounds per week. Matt weighs 225 and plans to lose 0.5 pounds per week for X number of weeks. Write an inequality to show when William's weight is less than Matt's weight. So I've got William and I have Matt. I want to know when William is going to weigh less than Matt. So think about your inequality. And I need to open up and eat Matt's weight. So the alligator is eating towards Matt. So we're going to write William's expression. William starts with 250 pounds and he is going to lose 2 pounds per week. Whereas Matt starts with 225 pounds and is losing half a pound per week. And our inequality needs to open up towards Matt to show that William is going to weigh less than Matt. A gym charges an enrollment fee plus a monthly fee. The graph models the linear relationship between the number of months enrolled and the total price paid. Fill in the blanks to create a function that can be used to find y, the total paid after X number of months. All right, choose from the values listed below. Okay, so I need to find my slope and I need to find my y-intercept. So if I take a look here at my y-intercept, I know that I'm between 100 and 200. And I know that I look like I'm really close to being about 150. So I am going to say that my y-intercept is 150. It looks like my next dot is going to be here at 1 and 200. So I've got to think. I have to do rise over run. Well, if I'm rising, I go from 150 to 200. I rose up 50 over the span of 2 hours, or 2 months, I should say, and 50 divided by 2 is 25. So my slope is 25. So my equation should equal, or should be, y is equal to 25x plus 250. All right, number 7. Vanessa and Melanie are both saving money for summer camp. Valerie and Melanie, not Melissa. Wow, I did not look at that. Valerie has $50 and will be able to save $15 each week for her babysitting job. Melanie has $75 and will save $10 each week for her lawn mowing job. Write an equation that can be used to determine the number of weeks W that will have passed when Melanie and Valerie will have the same amount of money. So it's just asking me to write the equation. So for Valerie, she starts with $50 and then she's adding $15 per week. And we're setting this equal to Melanie, who starts with $75 and then is adding $10 per week. If we wanted to, we could go ahead and start solving this, even though it did not ask. I always think that's great extra practice for us, especially honors. And I'm going to subtract 10W from both sides. I'm going to be left with 75 is equal to 50 plus 5W. Subtract 50 on both sides. I'm left with 5W is equal to 25. Divide by 5. And you should get W is equal to 5 or X is equal to 5. So 5 weeks would be the point at which both Valerie and Melanie will have the same amount of money. All right, what is the equation represented by the graph? Remember, your base equation looks something like this. Y is equal to mx plus b, where m is my slope and b is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is pretty easy usually to see. It is 4. So I know that my y-intercept is 0, 4. I just need to find the slope. And to find the slope is to find the rise over the run. So I'm going to find a couple of dots just to make sure that I'm moving up in the correct direction. Well, I'm rising up 2 and I'm running over not 3. Actually, it is 3. Each box is worth 1. So 1, 2, 3 and over 3. But to find the slope, it is the rise over the run, which is 2 over 3. So our equation is y is equal to 2 over 3x plus 4. All right, number 9. What value of x will make the equation true? Show all of your steps. Okay, so I'm going to move it in just a little. All right, so I am going to, let's see. Okay, here, let's do this as the first step. I'm actually going to pull the 2 out from here. So what I am doing here, x over 2. This right here is the exact same thing as 1/2 x. All we did here is we took the 1/2 and we took x because we know x is a number, and we can put x over 1 as a fraction, and we can multiply straight across to do 1 times x is x over 2 times 1 is 2. So I'm going to pull this out here, and I'm going to make it a 1/2 x. Okay, so now I'm going to start moving some numbers around. I'm going to subtract the 1/2 x from both sides. I'm going to be left with 15 is equal to, well, 3 minus 1/2 is 2.5. So 2.5x minus 10. I'm going to add 10 to both sides. I'm going to have 25 is equal to 2.5x. Divide both sides by 2.5. Let's see, 25 divided by 2.5. And x is equal to 10. Oops, sorry, you cannot see that. There we go. We added 10 to both sides. Then I divided both sides by 2.5, and I got x is equal to 10. All right, I'm going to use the same concept I did here as x over 2 for x over 3, and I'm going to change this here to 1/3 x because I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides, and I have, actually, no, let's leave that as x over 3 because I'm going to show you what happens. 11 minus 6 is 5. I should be able to do that. I see division, and I'm just going to multiply by 3 on both sides to get that 3 on the bottom to go away. And then I should get x is equal to 15. If you turn it into a fraction, you would just divide by 1/3 or multiply by 3, which is the reciprocal of 1/3. All right, number 10. What value of x will make the following equations true? Show all your steps for this equation. All right, so I've got 14x minus 12 equal to 4 minus 42x. Well, I am going to go ahead and move the 42x. So I'm going to add it from one side to the next. I'm left with 4 is equal to negative 12. 4 plus 2 is 6. X, 6, and 5. So I got 56. I'm going to add 12 to both sides. I have 56x is equal to, well, 12 plus 4 is 16. Divide by 56 on both sides. And let's do 16 divided by 56. All right, hang on. Let's see if I did something right. 14 plus 42 is 56. 4 plus 12 is 16. I did? Yep, I did do that right. Okay. And then divided by 56 gives me that number. Let's see, can we change that into a fraction? Yep, and we can, and it's going to be 2 over 7. When you do this in your calculator, you're going to get something like 2.857. And in your calculator, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. In your calculator, if you do 16 divided by 56, you're going to get this number. If you take your calculator and if you press the word math, it's going to show up a bunch of different options here. And as long as you have that first one highlighted where it says fraction, you're going to hit enter and it's going to say take the previous answer in my calculator. See if you can turn that into a fraction. I'm going to hit enter and it turns it into a fraction for me and it's beautiful and it's 2 over 7. You can also use Desmos and Desmos will be able to convert fraction for you by just clicking a simple little button. All right, so here we go. We need to label each relationship as a function or not a function. Remember, to be a function, each x has to have exactly one y. So I see 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Well, this one is not a function because I have 2 positive ones going to 2 different x's. 2, 0, 1, 0, 3. This one here is also not a function. Even though it's 0, 0 is still considered a number. 1, 0, 4, 2, 3. This one is a function. It does pass my line or does pass my information. Okay, looking at the graph, if I take my pencil left to right, this one passes my graph test, so it is a function. If I take my pencil, I hit at more than 1 point, so this one is not a function. It does not pass. This one, even though he's curlicue, if I take my pencil and I go all the way across, he does pass my line test, so that is true. If I look at this one, if I take my pencil and I start moving it across, it looks like it's going to pass, and it does pass my line test. And this one I go up, and I'm going to pass my line test once again. All right, I've got some mappings. Well, 0, 2, 4, that is a function. 0, 1, 2. Even though they all three go to the same y value, that doesn't mean it's not a function. It has to look something like this, where 4 goes to 2 and 3 at the same time, meaning it is not a function. All right, then I've got a set of coordinate points. If you guys remember my trick on coordinate points, all I do here is I go through and I underline my x values because that's all I really care about on seeing if it's a function. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. This is a function. -8, -5, -8, 7. Oh, I have an issue. I have 2 -8s, which means this is not a function. 2, -1, 3, 5, -6. This is a function. -2, -4, -7, 3, 5. This is a function. All right. Multiple choice. Which situation best represents the following equation? Okay, so there are so many different ways that you guys can do this. I personally read through all the different problems and I start writing the equations for each one and see which one matches the equation that I am given because that is the point that I'm trying to get to. All right, so there are 2 limo companies that charge based on the number of people X. Limo A charges 30 plus 230, so 30 plus 2X. Well, I can stop right there because I see that I have 30 and then I have 2X on 2 opposite sides. And I'm told that 30 and 2X has to be on the same side here. So that's how I can eliminate A. All right, let's look down here. Limo A charges 30 plus $70 per person. Well, 30 plus 70X. Well, wait a minute. I got 30 and I got 70, and both of them do not have an X on either one. So B is gone. I have 2 limo companies, same thing, 30 plus 4X. Okay, so it looks like I'm going in the right direction. So 30 plus 4X. Limo B charges 70 plus $2 per person. So 70 plus 2X. And it looks like C is going to be our right answer. And then we can look down here at D if we really wanted to. A charges 30 per person, which would be 30x, which is not what I have up here. It's just a solid 30. All right, which situation best represents the following inequality? So same concept. I'm going to do the exact same steps I did for number 12 for number 13. So Sarah's hair clips sells for $50 each. Her total cost is $6 plus $2.80 per clip. So it's 6 plus 2.80x. How many clips X does she have to sell to make a profit? All right, so it looks like 50 needs to be on the opposite side. Well, I've got 50, 280, and then 6x on two different sides. So it looks like A is not going to be a possible choice for me. Sarah makes hair clips and sells them for $6 each. So it looks like 6x is on one side. Her total costs are 50 plus 280 per clip. So it's 50 plus 2.80 per clip. How many clips does she need to sell to make a profit? Okay, so to make a profit. So this sounds like this is my income right here, and this right here is my expenses. So I want to know to where I have a profit where my income is greater. So it looks like I should have 6x is greater than 50 plus 2.80x, which is what matches my inequality above. And then we can always look at the next one. Sarah has 6x. Her total costs are $50. And how many? Well, I don't have anything left over, so C can't be an answer choice. All right, number 14. The graph models a linear relationship between the charge for a trip and the number of miles driven for two taxis. So I got taxi 1 and taxi 2. Based on the graph, which statement appears to be true? The charge for a trip with a distance of 5 miles is $5 greater for taxi 1 than it is for taxi 2. Okay, so let's see. So if 5 miles looks like to be their point of intersection, so for them, it should be 5 miles is $20. And that is going to be when they both are charging the same thing. So they're saying $5 or 5 miles is $5 greater. Well, if I'm looking at this table based off the graph, that's not true. The charge for a trip with a distance of 5 miles is $5 less. Well, we just figured out that 5 miles looks like to be the point of intersection, so that's not true. The charge for a trip of distance of 5 miles is $20 for both taxi companies. That looks like to be the right answer. Let's just double check. 5 miles cannot be determined, which is not true because it can. So it looks like C is the only possible answer choice for us. All right, number 15. Which situation can be represented by the equation? So we're going to do the exact same steps we've been doing. So Krista reads 12 pages per hour, which would be, I would guess, 12x. John Doe reads 18 pages per hour, 18x. How many hours X would it take Crystal and John Doe to read the same number of pages? Well, it looks like I'm missing out on a number of 19, so that's not possible. Crystal paid a deposit of $19 plus $18 per hour for rent, so she has 19 plus 18x. Well, here's my first issue. 19 is on one side of my equal sign. 18x is on a different side, so they're not together, even though this problem says they are. So B is not true. All right, Crystal installs 12 tiles per hour, so 12x. John Doe installs 19 tiles per hour, so 19x. All right, so here's my other issue. I've got 19x. Well, 19 is a whole number. It's not being changed at all, so that one is gone. And then I'm left with D. Crystal can make $18 per hour by tutoring, so I got 18x. John Doe can make $12 per hour by tutoring. John Doe already has $19, so he starts with 19. So he starts with 19, adds $12 per hour, and then Crystal has $19 or $18 per hour, giving us D as the only answer choice left. Oops. If you guys have any other questions, please contact us and let us know.